whatever. I hope it doesn't take us 8 hours to do this.
No, definitely not.
Hopefully, I'll be
Okay.
here for about another half hour until.
Good. I'll just keep negotiations up till then. Okay. I'll say a prayer. We forgot to do that already.
Okay.
Father in heaven, we're grateful for the opportunity to um, be here and discuss MuMate and be able to negotiate and then review our negotiations. We'd love you to say this in the name of Jesus Christ. Amen.
Amen.
Okay. So you offered $2 million at 35% equity, right?
Uh-huh.
That would give a pre-money valuation of 5.7 million and post-money of 7.7 million. Um, we're kind of hoping to raise money in two different sections, in two different investment rounds, just because we think we can grow the business enough in the next couple of years or year to be able to raise money again. Kind of looking for 1.75 million for 25% equity. So it brings your investment down just a little bit and equity down a little bit as well.
Okay. 1.7 at 30. Is that what you said? 30 or 25?
1.75 at 25%.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to look over my case to make sure that I'm getting everything.
Yeah, you're fine. We're also looking for 10% option pool. And we wanted founder shares to vest immediately.
Sorry, what? You're gonna have to say that again. You sound like a robot.
Sorry, it's strange. So we wanted.
It's cutting in and out. It's like
No
slow
problem.
motion.
So we wanted 10% option pool as opposed to your 15% that you mentioned. We wanted 5 board seats total. That will leave 2 for us, 1 for you, and 2 for independent parties.
Okay, and what were you saying about the 15% post round? Did you say something about that?
We wanted a 10% option pool instead of 15% that you had proposed.
Okay.
That was kind of where we were at because if you're going to own 25%, it doesn't make sense to have the exact same board seats representation. Now you want to protect yourselves, and that's good, and that's what the independent parties are there for.
Okay. So just to clarify, 1.75 million with 25%, 10% post round, and members.
Yeah, 5 board seats.
You want 5 for MuMate and how many for DuPage?
So 5 board seats for the entire company. Founders would make up
Okay.
2 of these. 2 independent parties that we could both agree on, and then 1 for DuPage.
Okay. Okay. All right. Give me one more second. Sorry to look over this, and then I'll be ready to give you another. Okay. So let's talk about the board positions first.
Sounds good.
Um, I'm fine. I'm fine with that number. 1 representative for DuPage. I would like DuPage. If you only want, then I would like to have 3 who we both appoint. And the reason being is because I feel like if we have 1, then we would, if there, I just feel like we would want a bigger voice on the board, but it would also be a pro for you too because we're both appointing them. So, I mean, if we come to a point in time where we have to vote on something, then I feel like having 1 more person will kind of be the tiebreaker, I guess you would say. Reason.
Yeah. So you're saying you cut out just a little bit, but you're saying 1 for the founders, 3 independent, and 1 for DuPage.
No, 2 for the founders, 3 independent, and 1 for DuPage.
So 6 board seats total.
Yes.
I'm good with that. I think that's a good idea. I put us in a spot where maybe we'll be stuck as somewhere with a odd number, but a 616. But it does give us a majority for sure if we can come to a conclusion. Like you'd be voting 4-2, and I think that'd be a good strong majority. So I'm okay with that.
How about number? We'll go with whatever the independent voters majority is. Does that make sense?
Say that again.
So, sorry, is the internet just super bad? Because it's kind of bad for you too.
It's not horrible, but it's a little fuzzy.
Okay. So, I was just saying, since we have an even number, if we ever get to a point where we need a tiebreaker, then we will rely on the decision of the independents. Does that make sense?
Yeah. It's just kind of interesting because then the people who own the business don't have a say really. Because the independent parties don't own the business.
Yeah.
And so if they, oh, well, us as an attorney or us as us, this is what we should do. Well, I don't know if that'd be the right idea.
But if we all got 1 more then? So MuMate gets 3, independent, and 2 from DuPage. That puts us at 9 board members. Because you make a good point that we can't have an even number.
Yeah.
An odd number for tiebreakers.
Yeah.
That's putting independence on the board, but the number of 3 MuMate, DuPage, and 2 independent. That's 7.
You said 3, 2, and 2.
Yeah.
3 founders, 3 independent, 2 for DuPage.
Yeah.
That's it.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
You want us to pick them and then you can approve them?
Yes. Hey, how about let's actually pick one. Let's both pick one and then have the other one approve it. Should we do that?
There's 3 of them though, right?
No, there's just 2. 3 founders, 2 independent, and 2 DePage.
Oh, sorry. Messed that up. That sounds good. Both approve them, each other's.
Okay.
Like it.
Okay. As for the fully diluted shares or the post round, you proposed you countered at 10%.
Yes.
Now, and why did you say 10%?
Just because an option pool of 12% or 15% is a lot of options for someone to either buy or for say employees. Preferably, I'd like to use a lot of these option pools for employees, but 15% is a lot to start with, in my opinion. I feel that 10% still gives the employees a good incentive, but it's not super excessive for a small business.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I don't really. I'm trying to look and see if instructions I have any like. Sorry. Do you plan on, with the company, do you plan on hiring more managers and expanding it?
Yeah, we're hoping to get nationwide. That's why we're raising money, so we can get nationwide. I don't know if we'll have to have management all over the country. I don't think we will. But we're trying to grow across the country so we can grow sales a lot.
Okay. Okay.
But as the company grows, becomes more valuable, 1% of the company will be worth a whole bunch. So selling or giving shares to employees, if the company becomes $100 million, I mean, 1% is a whole bunch. So we won't be giving one employee 1% of the company because that'd be $1 million.
Yeah.
Unless they really earn it.
Okay. That sounds reasonable to me, but I would say meet in the middle at 12.5. But
Are we doing this before closing or right after closing? We're doing options.
I would say right after closing.
Okay, we'll do 12.5 after closing. Huh?
Sorry, I can't understand you.
So I was saying, are we going to make the option pool before the investment or after the investment?
I would say if we do it before the investment, 12.5%, and after the investment, 10%.
How many options there were in the business?
What's that?
said, I wish I knew how many shares were in the business. All right, well, let's do 10% after then.
Okay.
That work for you?
Yeah. Okay. And now, as for the 1.75 million and 25% equity, let's see. Company at 7 million.
Yep.
Um, $1.75 million at 25%. That values your company at 7 million, and that's pre valuation, right?
Yes.
That's pre-money valuation. Okay.
Which I think is fairly reasonable. That gives us basically, because right now we're at about $3 million revenue run rate, meaning we've gotten up to $3 million. By the end of the year, we should be able to hit about $8 million in sales. And so if we do $2.4 million annual sales, we're obviously right above that already. And a 3 times sales multiplier, that puts the value of $7.2 million of the business, which is fairly reasonable. Other companies have sold at that already in the industry.
Okay.
Naked Juice, PepsiCo bought Naked Juice for 3 times trailing 12 months sales. That Izzy beverage company was also bought by Pepsi at almost 4 times last trailing 12 month sales.
Okay. Sorry, I'm just running some numbers here. Okay. What if we our offer to 2.4 million and keep 35%?
Um, hmm. How about just around 2.5, and we'll at 35%.
Brandon.
Yeah, I'm here. What do you say? Can you hear me?
Now I can.
That's weird. Did you hear what I said?
No, sorry. And I asked you a couple times what you said.
Oh, I didn't hear that at all. That's
That's
strange.
okay. That's okay. Sorry. Did you just turn your video off so it went faster?
Did I?
Yeah.
No.
Oh, because I can't see you anymore. But the audio is a lot better.
Huh. Okay.
Okay. Sorry. What did you say?
I said, how about we just make it around 2.5 million at 35% instead of 2.4.
Okay. That's fine.
Okay. Last thing, would like the founder's shares to vest immediately. Just because we already own the company, it doesn't make a lot of sense to have us not vest immediately because we already own them.
Okay. And okay, this is probably a stupid question. What do my shares do?
I think they should do the same just because you're already buying them.
Okay.
I think they should just vest immediately. And then employee options, I think we can work out a vesting schedule, but I think they should vest over a 2-year period, either 2 to 5 years, just so employees will stay with the company. Maybe we do an offset vesting schedule where it vests a little bit the first year, a little more the second, a little more the third, something like that.
I would be in favor of a 5-year, and have the majority of it be in the last year.
Okay. Just kind of like an accelerated growth or an
Yeah.
accelerated
For
at the end.
example, allow them to get 25% in the last year, and then I don't know what the numbers would be, but like 10% for the first 4 years, or 20%. 20% for the first 4 years, and then I guess it would have to be a little bit less than that. 18% for the first 4 years, and then 28% the last year or something like that, so that it motivates them to stay with us.
Fine. I think that's great.
Let's just do. Is that what you're doing? Were you doing 18%? Those numbers that I told you, or should we just do? Let's see here. 15. I gotta add these numbers up. 1.
28% roughly. At 28%.
45. 5%.
You could do like a 15,
So I have
16, 18, 20, 32.
what? And does that add up?
Yeah.
Okay, 15. What was it?
It'd be 14, 16, 18, 20, and then 32%.
Okay.
We could probably revise this with the board too if we change our minds, but I think that's a good place to start.
Okay. So let me go over this real quick just to make sure we're all on the same page for everything. 2.5 million investment with 35% equity as
Yep.
for the option pool, 10% after the initial investment, and then for the employees, the options are year one 14%, two 16, year three 18%, year four 20%, year five 32%.
And that's of the shares they have available to each employee, right?
What's that?
That's for the shares we grant to each employee, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That sounds good.
Okay, and then the investor shares are effective immediately. Is that how you would word it?
Yeah, vest means become effective.
Okay. And then the board members, 7 members total, 3 founders, 2 DuPage, and 2 independent, 1 appointed by each, pending the other party approval.
Yeah, sounds good.
Okay. Do we need anything else?
All that I can think of right now.
Okay.
I think that's pretty good.
All right. Well, I have no idea how I did. According to this, it's like 3 pages of Chinese that I'm looking at. So,
Funny. Well, quite honestly, I had another investment option, or two other VC firms who had told me that they would buy part of the company, and one of them had a really good valuation, but not really good terms, and then the other one had poor valuation but really good terms.
oh, okay.
But I think we kind of ended up pretty close, right where. I mean, obviously, it seems like you feel okay with it. I feel okay with it. The valuation's a tiny bit lower than my other offer, but it has better terms too.
Okay.
And it's not terribly off. I mean, it is lower, but it's not. It's not like I'm gonna cry at night.
Cool. All right. So now I guess we just need to, just go from here and submit them. Is our case analysis? Do we just do a regular case analysis?
Yeah, that's what I did. But we have some questions. Do you have just a little bit more? We have some questions for the case discussion that we're
Okay.
supposed to go over.
Okay.
If that's all right.
Yeah. Let me go to them. Let's just try and go through them quick. Okay. So where are we? Let's see here.
So it's the case discussion right above.
Yeah. Okay.
Of the discussion. Yeah. So, which team had the highest pre-money valuation? Lowest? Where did your team fall? Um, you had the lowest. I had the highest because I wanted a higher valuation, so I didn't get diluted as much. You wanted lower, so you can buy more of the business.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty obvious. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
Um, I don't think either of us really had an extreme. So, anyway.
Okay. The DPV side, what were your goals for this negotiation? The valuation, I was not allowed to spend. They wanted anywhere from 25 to 40% of the company, but I wasn't allowed to spend any more than $3 million.
Okay.
The IRR, let me see what that was.
I should have said $3 million for 25.
little bit over. It said the highest post money valuation would be $6 million. So I went over a little bit.
Yeah, you were at 9.64.
Oh, jeez.
My other offer was 10.
Oh, wow. Well, they'll get over it. Whatever.
It's okay.
I can't find the IRR where it was. Okay, let me see what the next one was. Oh, board seat. It said that we wanted 3 board members
Okay.
out of. Oh, they just wanted 1 founder, 1 independent, and 1 DPV. So they wanted 33% of the board.
Oh, okay.
And so I think that I have 2 of 7. 2 of 7. I mean, if I had, I'm a little bit under.
Yeah, 28.5%. That's not too bad.
Yeah. Okay.
Cool.
Let me see what the next one was. DPV to this one, they didn't really care. They were just like, they kind of appointed Jonathan and said, if you can get it and like it meets our terms, then we can go for it. But I mean, we just think that it's a good opportunity for you to be able to take the head, of the negotiating. And since they're friends with you, it'll be a good learning experience for you. So you can go for it.
Cool.
And then do MuMate fit your investment focus? I don't know. I think that for DuPage, it was just kind of like, it wasn't a make or break, so they didn't really care.
Gotcha. Okay. So do the co-founders see things the same way, where you focus on other interests? I think they were pretty much seeing the same way. They wanted to grow the business, but they also wanted both founders to be on the board. Having 3 people, because 3 people own the company so far, having 3 on the board, I thought that was awesome. I thought that was good. So some of the deal terms we wanted obviously a good value, so we didn't get diluted horribly. We wanted at least both of our founders on the board, but I also wanted to have more than DuPage and not less than independents, just because I didn't want them running the whole business.
Okay.
If DuPage and the independents jump on, they still could, but you'd have to get a super majority, and I was okay with that.
Okay.
Option pool, I just didn't want to be diluted really bad by a horrible option pool. So when you said 10% after the investment, I was like, well, that's good. Then you can share in the option pool dilution. So
Okay.
So yeah, and then we also had talked about doing debt investments based on assets, but we just, I don't know, it's kind of hard to have a lot of debt on a company that's not making any money. So
Yeah.
I think as far as who had the upper hand, I don't really know, because you guys didn't really care, but we, and so I think it's probably fairly even.
Yeah. Okay.
And then number 6, pros and cons of Astoria and Prosper, and then seeking capital from angels. The Astoria, they had $10 million post money valuation, so that's really good. But they wanted to hire a new CEO, and they only wanted 1 seat for the founders on the board.
Okay.
And then they wanted to say they would give us half the money. And then if we became profitable in a year, they'd give us the other half. Well, we're not going to become profitable in a year. So that was a really bad downfall.
Yeah.
Um, but it was good valuation. And yeah, so that's good. The Prosper one, not a good valuation, but they wanted us to have majority at the board, a lower option pool. And they have a great track record and a great person that would help us. Then Angel Capital. The bad part is it'd take a long time to find angels to invest in the business. But the good part is we'd probably have really good valuation. We'd probably have really good dilution. We probably wouldn't be diluted that much. So
Okay. Cool. Let me look at this next one. Did you just do 7 or did you just do 6?
I just did 6.
Okay. How did VC go about valuing MuMate? Well, I kind of looked at it at the beginning of how much they were going to do in sales. 8 million, I think, was like the number, right?
Yeah.
So I was trying to be somewhere around there, and I obviously didn't do the math, which I guess I did something wrong in my math, but because we had your company valued at like 7 million, and then all of a sudden it was at 9 point what? What did we close at?
9.64 post money though.
Oh,
The pre money value is 7.14.
okay. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine, I guess. So I don't know. I mean, I was trying to stay under 8. I was trying to stay close to that. So
Gotcha.
from the exit value, how much money did they need to receive in order to get 5 times, 10 times on their investment? I don't know.
Well, to get 5 times, you'd have to get 12.5 million out of a sale. To get 10 times, you have to get 25 million out of a sale.
Yeah, that's true.
So my business would have to be sold 71.5 about.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, what share of the equity would that dollar amount equal? Yeah, sorry, 71. What other means did the VC use to value the company? Not really anything, really. It was I probably could have prepared a little bit better. I didn't know that we were going to do the negotiation right then, so.
Yeah.
Anyway. I think the bargaining tactics, the things that I've learned the most in like experience doing that and just like classes that I've done this in before is if you just kind of, I don't know, get to the big elephant in the room, and just say, okay, we both want to be happy. Like you're looking for an opportunity and I'm looking for an opportunity. Like we both want this to come, like what's fair for both of us. If you just say that, then it takes a lot of stress off of the table. For me, it feels like, and you don't have to be quite as official, and then you don't feel bad saying, well, I don't feel like that's a good investment for me, and you
Right.
also, and you don't feel bad upping like how much you want, and then there's more of like, I offered 15%, so, and then you countered at 10, so let's meet at 12.5, and I feel like there's a lot more of that when you're just open,
Yeah. No, I think that's true. And if you're just trying to be fair and honest and equitable, I think you're going to be fine. Right now, I work as I'm doing my internship with a holding company, and they buy small companies that use technology to have good margins, and they're trying to make a portfolio of good cash flowing businesses.
Okay.
And we've been working on acquisitions, and one thing I'm learning from the owner of this holding company is he just goes in and he tells people what is honest, what's fair, what the market value of their business is based on what we understand. Um, and he doesn't try and cheat anyone, doesn't do anything like that, or try and get anything past them. He doesn't lowball them or anything, and then try and meet in the middle. He just says, "This is what I think it's worth," and it builds a good reputation and trust. And I think that's a good way to do it.
Yeah. Okay.
So, as far as just whether I disclose other offers, I was debating whether I should, and I would have if you had maybe said, "Oh, well, I think it's only worth 5 million or something like that." I would have said, "Well, I've got other offers way higher than that, so I'm nowhere near the ballpark." So, but where you didn't, it was just a fair, equitable thing. I was just like, "Nah, it's fine. I like this anyway, so it doesn't really matter."
Okay.
So,
Yeah. I think that if you would have done that, shoot, I don't know what I would have done had you said that, because I would have just been like, okay, well, we don't think it's worth that much. And
right.
probably would have, I mean, in real life, we probably would have walked,
Right.
So, anyway, I think that discuss key takeaways. Terms allocate economic and control rights. Well, you definitely still have control of your company.
Right.
Terms have a price. That's right. That's true. Looking priorities of investors and entrepreneurs in upside and downside scenarios. VC valuation techniques. So, anyway.
Yeah. Quite honestly, like, as far as VC valuation, I looked into it. I got into their financials and I was looking at them. I was like, well, their cash flow is negative. How do I do this? And I was like, because in my internship, I just did one today where it was basically discounted cash flow model of cash flows business. And so I did that with it and I got a good, decent valuation. But this business, I tried to do that and I was like, oh, it's all negative. So I just times basically last trailing 12 months based on a multiple in the industry. And I think we got pretty much the same. So I think there's a lot of different ways depending on whether the business is making money or not.
Yeah.
So
Cool. Are you liking that internship?
yeah, I really like it. I think it's something I'd like to do actually, because I've been trying to figure out what to do. I graduate in 6 weeks. I don't have a job and I don't know what I want to do, but I think I figured it out now, and I think this is what I want to do is kind of do the same thing he's done.
Cool.
So go buy some businesses that are making a little bit of money and try and make them grow.
Yeah. For sure.
So.
Well, thanks, man.
Yeah.
And sorry, I was like, for shit.
What's that?
I just said sorry about last week too. I was really sick.
Oh no, you're fine. I understand. Totally.
Well, have a good week.
Yeah, you too.
Okay, see ya.
Bye.